It's been over 5 years since slavery was officially abolished in America. But some still water that tree of hate, like they can't stand the idea of it ever withering away. Yet every evening, on that very same tree, Captain Kyle plants a flower of love. He's a retired army officer now. But instead of living a quiet life, he travels from village to village, reading the news, telling stories, teaching people what's happening around the world. He wants them to see there's more beyond their pain. He wants them to heal and move forward. Captain Kyle doesn't believe in skin color, doesn't care about someone's religion. To him, a person is just a person. That's it. But even in 1870, there are still towns, especially in Texas, where racism isn't just alive, it's thriving. One morning after delivering the news, Captain was riding through the woods when he saw a wagon overturned. At first he thought it might be an accident, or maybe a wild animal attack. But as he moved closer, he froze. Hanging from a nearby tree was the lifeless body of a black man. A silence heavier than the woods itself. Captain didn't have to guess, he knew. This was no accident. It was hate. Then he hears something. Movement. He turns and sees a little girl. Dirty, barefoot, scared, running. He runs after her, calling out, "Wait! I'm not like them. It's dangerous ahead." But she keeps running. He catches her before she falls into the ravine. She fights, screams, speaking in a language he doesn't recognize. Not English, not Spanish, something foreign. Back at the wagon, he finds her documents. Her name is Johanna, 12 years old, German-born, kidnapped by Kiowa tribes 7 years ago. She's been raised by them ever since. The man who died, he was taking her back to her relatives. Her parents had died during the war. Now she had no one. That's when a small group of Union soldiers ride in. They ask what happened. Captain shows them his papers and Johanna's. They say, "You can keep her or drop her off at the nearest army post. Your choice." And then they ride away. Captain stands there, the child shaking behind him. What was he supposed to do? Let her go into a system that didn't care? He couldn't. So he buried the man with dignity, said a few words over his grave, and took Johanna with him. They visit a local government office, hoping for help. But no one listens. No one cares. The officials say, "Keep her yourself. We don't have time for this." Captain tries to argue, but they wave him off like he's a beggar. Disheartened, he turns to a friend, a kind man with a wife, and begs them to shelter Johanna for a while. They agree. But just that evening, when Captain returns, Johanna is gone. She ran. He panics. The river nearby was high and raging from the rains. He searches, calling out, heart-pounding, until he sees her, trapped midstream. Across the water, the Kiowa tribe. Her former family. She pleads for help, but they turn and leave. Why would she ask help from those who took her? Maybe they were kinder than people thought. Captain dives in. He pulls her out, wraps her in warmth, takes her home. His friend asks, "Why? Why are you doing all this for her?" Captain doesn't answer. Because it's not something words can hold. He just knows he has to get her home, to her last living relatives, 400 miles away. No matter what. Maybe it's humanity. Maybe it's fate. Maybe some souls are just meant to be rescued by others. The next morning, his friend gives him a small wagon and a rifle. "Take care of her," he says. And so they ride, through dangerous land. No map, no guarantees. But Captain keeps saying, "We'll stop, work when we need to, earn what we can, we'll get there." Johanna doesn't understand his words. But she understands him. She knows she's safe. After days of travel, they reach Dallas. One of Captain's old friends invites them in. A kind woman, Mrs. Granate, who to their surprise understands Johanna's language. They talk. And from that conversation, Captain learns something new. The tribe that raised Johanna, they weren't evil. They loved her, protected her, until British soldiers destroyed their village. That day, she lost her second family too. Maybe that's why she ran. She wasn't trying to escape Captain. She was just trying to find home again. And maybe, just maybe, Captain Kyle was the only home she had left.